Brought to you by Mazuma Pro, a lifetime money plan. Hello, Will Chandler here with Mazuma Pro, Money Matters. Today I'm going to talk to you about why I got into budgeting, how budgeting has really helped me in my finances, and how it's helped us look into the future and to see where we're going and see what we have to do. So, it started about 10 years ago, 11 years ago. We were, making good money. We were having the things in life that people have. And we were just right on the edge of everything. And we actually went over the edge a couple of times, paid some late fees, got into some financial trouble. And the funny thing is we made enough money to not be in that situation. Well, so I was like, man, I've got to do something about this. So what I did was I started a personal budget. Now, whenever you have financial problems, you want to get out of it, all the professionals say start a financial budget. And then that is your first starting point. But you know what? That's not the ending of it. So what I did was I started an Excel spreadsheet. I had started writing down all of my weekly expenses, all of my monthly expenses, and then as the time went on, I would track that. And it really helped us out to notice and to figure out where we were exactly financially. We were able to actually walk the edge and not fall off of it because I knew exactly where we were at. I knew exactly what was coming up, and I knew exactly where we needed to go. So, fast forward a couple of years, and our finances have straightened out. I started to notice things in our finances and in our spending habits that was really disturbing to me. And you don't notice it because it's a oney here and a oney there. But you know what? When you start tracking it diligently, you start following it every single bit, and you start looking at trends for yourself, you're going to start to notice stuff that, hey man, I waste a lot of money on this stuff. And it's not really giving you any kind of enjoyment. It's not really giving you any kind of pleasure in life. It's just stuff that you're wasting money on. Be it due to, laziness, lack of motivation, whatever it is. People get in these ruts, and people get it, people are creatures of habit. So they start doing, once you hit that Starbucks or whatever on the way to work and buy the coffee and the donut, once you do it 2, 3, 4, a week or two in a row, it starts to become an everyday thing. And it's habit. You get up, you do what you're going to do, you hit the road on the way to work, your first stop, boom, the drive-in to go pick up the stuff that you're used to having. Well, that's the kind of stuff that is going to really start costing you a lot of money. You're trading your future financial security for that coffee and donut at the time. And I've said it before, you could save money on that by buying the coffee and stuff at the store and making it at home and bringing it from your house. So once I started noticing trends like that, once I started seeing that, hey, we're spending too much on this car, we're spending too much on this house, we're spending too much on, fast food and stuff like that. I tracked for a whole year going out to restaurants. And when I got done, it was pretty disturbing. We went out to eat at either a fast food restaurant or a regular restaurant over 256 times in 1 year. 256. That's like almost going out 6 days a week. I mean, that was a lot of going out. And then it took a toll on our money, it took a toll on our health, it took a toll on everything because, that food just isn't as healthy. It's got more fat, it's got more sodium, it's got more salt, all that stuff. So I started noticing things like that. And then what that did was allow me to see things that we could cut back on. And then it was very interesting to me because, I started thinking about our future and started thinking about retirement and started thinking about the years later on in life. And it's like, hey, what do I want for retirement? What do I want 10 years from now? What do I want 30 years from now? You know, do we want a new car, or do we want an RV and travel the world, or at least the United States, right? Or do we want, a boat? Do we want a house in the mountains? What do we want? And it's kind of funny because that stuff is going to change over time, anyways. You don't want the same things today that you wanted necessarily 10 years ago. That stuff changes, and it changes on a regular basis. So, but what I started doing is I started allocating money, I started budgeting money, and I made this spreadsheet that will look years into the future. So we could actually plan vacations and trips and big purchases and stuff like that we might want 1 or 2 or 5 years down the line, and we started putting that stuff in our budget. And then what that allowed us to do was it allowed us to see our money out that far to where we could make changes today. That way we could make it to that point tomorrow. Now, it sounds really easy, but it was really hard to do, but it was very beneficial. I see our money better today than I ever have in my whole life, because I'm able to put in our budget, in our plan, everything that we want. And then I'm able to adjust the income and stuff to see what we need to do to make that happen. I can see into my retirement and know what kind of money that we want, and then know if I'm going to have it or not, because based on investments, based on savings, based on pensions or income or social security or whatever your income's going to be at that time, and again, it's all just a guess, right? It's a moving target. You got to find the spot that you want, and you got to shoot for it, and hopefully you're shooting for above it, right? So what that did was that got me very motivated to budget. And then you'll start to see when you start tracking your money and your expenses, you'll start to see where you're wasting all of this money. You're starting to see where you could downsize a little bit, which we did. We had too much house. At the time that we bought it, it didn't seem like too much. We had the money, we had all that stuff. But then as we got into it, as the years went by, it was just too much. It was holding us back from being able to actually accelerate our life and improve our finances. So we got rid of that. The new cars, we don't have a new car. We've only had one new car, and that was way back when I was a kid. So we don't buy new cars. We buy used cars and pay $10,000 less for almost the same vehicle. Nobody would know it's not new because it looks new and it feels new and it drives like new, and it is just fine. It does not have to be brand new. And we were able to save up the money for the down payments and stuff like that. And you'd be surprised if you can knock off $20-$30 a week off of your expenses. That's $80 to $120 a month extra money you have. You add that up over the year, and you're talking over $1,000 a year savings. What could you do with an extra $1,000 a year? You could take a vacation. You could, buy a big present for yourself, or whatever the thing is. But the point here is, if you don't budget your life, if you don't plan your life, then you're just kind of floating along with the tide, and you're like, oh, the Joneses got a new car, so now I need a new car. So you can get that high off of the people, oogling and ogling over it. Ooh, man, that's a nice car. Ooh, I love that car. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it smells good. Well, you know what? It looks good sitting in your driveway. I don't buy $30,000 automobiles to sit in my driveway, right? I'm not looking for driveway candy. I'm not looking for, when I'm driving to work, I don't need the 2,000 strangers I'm going to drive past to look at me and go, oh, wow, that's an awesome car, right? I want to know that I got that in my bank account. I want to know that I'm financially stable. I want to know that I got my stuff together. And if I can save $200 a month on a car payment, or two or three or four, $500 a month on a house payment, or 10 or 20 or $30 a month on insurance payments, or if I can save $100 or $200 a month on eating out and stuff like that, those are big real dollars that add up. And you know what? By budgeting, you can see those changes, and then you can see what those changes will do in your life. So that's what that did for me. It gave me a budget, it gave me a plan, it gave me something to look at and look out to the future, and it gave me something to shoot for, right? If you don't have a plan to get what you want, you won't get what you want. So my advice to you is to get up, do something. You know, your situation's not going to fix by sitting there watching TV. Your situation's not going to fix by sitting there complaining about you're not able to buy that new car and your car's broken down. Your situation's not going to fix by sitting there, with your buddy drinking a beer at the bar, wishing you had more money, wishing you had better things. Your situation's not going to fix like that. If you want your situation to fix, then you're going to have to open up your eyes like I did my eyes, and you're going to have to start to make a plan for your life, make a plan for your money, and then start living the plan, executing the plan, changing the plan when you need to it, crossing obstacles when they come up, and make a difference in your life and in your family legacy. Don't sit there and do nothing and then complain that you don't get the things in life that you want. You are in control of your stuff. You are in control of you. It's up to you to make the decisions, to take the action to change your life. You can do it. Everybody can do it. But the problem is only a small percentage of the people do. And then everybody else sits back and says, oh, they're lucky. Oh, they hit it big. Well, you know what? That luck was created by hard work, discipline, and putting a plan into action. So I implore you to make a decision to change. Write down your stuff, figure out what you need to do to change, and then make a change. And then be disciplined about it to carry it on and make it a habit. After so many days of doing it, it'll be a habit. You'll be like, you can't wait to look at your finances. And, you can do that even if you don't make, tons and tons of money a year, right? You can do that making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year. You can find things to cut out, and you can be a little bit smarter in your shopping and in your doing. So take that and do what we did and make you a plan, make you a budget. It will relieve a ton of financial stress, and it will start you down the path of achieving the things you want to in life and getting where you want to be. Thank you.